You click this video because you want to get sponsored. Like this, and this. Here's what none of those athletes did to land these deals. They didn't beg for free products, they didn't have massive followings, and they certainly didn't wait until they were pro. They just understood something that 90% of athletes never figure out. And in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what that is. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know more about how sponsorships actually work than people who've been trying to get sponsored for years. Reframe how you see sponsorship. Here's the first thing you need to understand, and this is where most people get it completely wrong. When most athletes say, I want to sponsor, they're really picturing free stuff, maybe some cash, and then just a logo slapped on the car or the sled or the dirt bike or the truck. That picture is the problem. Sponsorship isn't about support for the athlete. It's about marketing for the brand. A company isn't paying you because you're passionate or you're talented. They're paying you because you can create an outcome. More attention from the right people, more trust, more customers, and ultimately more sales. Most athletes expect the brand to take the risk first. The truth is, you have to create the reason first. That's the shift. If your pitch makes you look like a cost, then you're gonna get ignored. But when you position yourself like an investment, that's when brands start to pay attention. If a company is handing you money or product, here's what they're actually buying. They're buying into access to a specific audience that already matches their customers. They're buying attention into the right niche. They're buying impressions, views, awareness from people who actually care. They're buying trust transfer because your audience believes you. So when you recommend something, it carries weight. And they're buying content. Real world clips like photos that they can repost or even run as advertisements. They're also buying association. Your identity and lifestyle makes the brand feel like it belongs in the culture. At the end of the day, they're buying outcomes, sales, leads, store traffic. Whatever that goal is, that's what they are paying for. Here's why every successful sponsorship starts with the viewer getting value, not the athlete, not the brand. Because the viewer has to win first. The viewer is the only one who can make the brand win. And if your content helps the viewer, whether that's tips or entertainment or inspiration or real proof, then attention goes up. And when attention goes up, the brand gets reach inside of the right culture. And when the trust goes up, your recommendations actually convert into sales. That's when the brand gets those sales, leads, and customers. But if your content is just, look at me with a logo slapped into the corner, the viewer gets nothing. And that's why the athlete wins last. You earn leverage after you've proven you can consistently create value for the viewer. And here's what happens when the brand looks at the numbers and sees no return. If the numbers don't move, the sponsorship turns into an expense. And guess what? Expenses get cut fast. Brands review their spend cycles, usually on a monthly or quarterly basis, and they're going to kill what doesn't perform. So if there's no proof, if there's no code uses, if there's no usable content that they can repost or run, well, you become the easiest thing to drop. Good vibes doesn't survive budget season. Even if they like you, they still have to justify the spend internally. They have to be able to point at something and say, here's what we got. And that's exactly why tracking matters. It protects you and it also shows value and then makes those renewals a no-brainer. Brands can buy reach anywhere. What they can't buy is trust with the right niche. So key takeaways. Sponsorship is not charity. It is a business transaction. You are a marketer the moment you accept a deal. The viewer must win first or nobody wins. Brands don't sponsor people, they sponsor outcomes. And talent is an enhancer. It's not the main event. If sponsorship is really just marketing, then your audience isn't just followers. It's the entire reason a brand would pay you. Now, let me explain why that changes everything. Your audience is the asset. Let's talk about the thing that actually gives you leverage. And no, it's not your skill level. It's your audience. Your audience is the only thing that you own and can produce value on demand. Your race results are impressive, but They don't automatically create buyers. Your reputation matters, but your audience is the distribution channel. Brands don't pay for cheering and applause. They pay for access to customers. When your audience trusts you, a simple mention turns it into an action. Maybe it's clicks or code uses or sales or store visits. And the best part, your audience compounds. It keeps growing even when you're not racing. Here's the catch. If your audience doesn't match the company's target customer, a misaligned audience is actually worse than a small one. You can have a huge reach but still be worthless to a brand. The wrong audience equals low conversion, wasted ad spend, and sponsor regrets. It can even damage the brand if your audience hates what the brand represents. Best case, they ignore you. Worst case, they say yes and don't renew because nothing moved. Your followers should look like their buyers. And this is exactly what a marketing manager is trying to figure out before they ever say yes. Before they pay you, they're asking one question. Are these my customers? They want to know where your people live. They want to know the age range and the gender split. They want to know interests and lifestyle, what your audience is into besides the sport. They want to know purchase behavior, what they buy, how often, how much they spend. They want to know what platforms and formats actually perform for you. Reels, stories, long form. They want to know what your audience engages with most. Is it the gear, the travel, the training, the setups, the behind the scenes stuff? And if you've got proof of influence, it's game over. Code uses, DMs, comments like, hey, where'd you get that? That's what makes you valuable. That's why even a simple poll about spending habits is powerful. It turns followers into customers with wallets. That's what sponsors actually care about. Here's the problem. If you don't know your audience, you can't sell access to it because you're just guessing. You'll pitch the wrong brands and you'll waste months of time. You can't explain what's in it for them clearly, so you get ignored. You start making content that attracts the wrong people, and your conversion dies. You can't price yourself confidently because you can't prove value. You can't renew because you can't show the right kind of impact, which leads to the most unfair advantage in sponsorship, and that is data mining your own social media. When you data mine your social media, it turns the trust me bro into actual proof and receipts. You can stop guessing and start speaking the brand's language. You can speak the numbers, the customer fit, and you can prove alignment fast. Here's who my audience is. Here's where they live. You can also build better content because you can actually see what hits. The shares, the saves, the watch time, the replies. You can pitch brands smarter because you know what your audience buys. Instantly, it separates you from 99% of the athletes. Most athletes can't answer basic audience questions. Audience quality beats audience size every time. Alignment between your audience and the brand's customer is everything. Demographics, interests, and spending habits are your leverage. If you don't know your audience, you can't sell access to it. Your audience is appreciating in value every single day, so treat it like an asset. So you understand sponsorship is marketing and you know how your audience is the asset. Here's where most people blow it. They skip straight to the pitch without having anything real to pitch. So let's fix that. The project comes before the pitch. So if you've ever sent a DM or email asking for a free product and heard nothing back, well, this is probably why. When a brand gets a message like, hey, I'm really good, can I get free stuff? They do not read that as an opportunity. They read it as an expense. Because it's an ask with no breakdown of what's in it for them, so it just feels like charity. There's no clear outcome attached to it. There's no customers talk, there's no content plan, and there's no measurable result. And on top of that, they've seen that exact message probably 1,000 times. It signals you don't understand marketing yet, which makes you a risk to manage. You're trying to hand them a solution before you even know how to help them in the first place. You're literally guessing what they need instead of asking. So you might offer awareness when what they really need is sales, or content when what they really need is foot traffic to their store, or a logo post when what they need is advertisements that they can actually run. Now, here's the fix. Stop pitching "I'll post about you," because "I'll post about you" is vague. A real project has a clear outcome, like leads or sales or content that they can run or foot traffic to their shop. It also has structure, the deliverables, the story angle, or where it's getting posted and how it's being tracked. That structure reduces uncertainty because now they actually know what they're buying. And most importantly, it makes you look like a marketer, not an athlete asking for a hookup. So what makes a project attractive to a marketing manager? Marketing managers say yes to projects that plug into an actual goal that they already have. It needs to be an obvious customer match too, where your audience actually looks like their buyers. Here's why clarity matters more than creativity when you're pitching, because brands don't need you to be clever. They need to understand what they're getting. And having clarity, it reduces risk and it makes it easy to approve. Having clear timelines matters too, because marketing managers live inside budgets and deadlines. Their plans are built around launches and seasons and promo windows, and their budgets are allocated by month or by quarter, not just whenever. So if you can't fit into their calendar, you're not going to be usable. One last thing, getting the deal is the easy part. Keeping it is where most athletes crash. Brands renew what performs, and they cut what feels chaotic and unmeasurable. Send them proof of performance by showing the results that you agreed to deliver throughout the year. They can be your content performance that they're featured in, or DMs from followers asking about the brand's products, or little surveys or polls that you ask your audience that shows what products they use or what they love, or different questions like that. And really anything that shows impact. Consistent updates makes you easy to work with, and that's also very rare for a marketing manager to find that. Put it this way, I've had brand managers tell me directly that they have athletes that they know are not their top performers, but they keep them around because those athletes continuously send proof of performance. And that makes a brand manager's life easier. And that's the power of proof. Asking without offering is begging, and it doesn't work. A specific project creates leverage, and a generic pitch never will. Clarity beats creativity. Brands need to see exactly what they're getting. And timelines matter because marketing managers work within budgets and quarters, and execution is everything. Deliver or you're done. So now you got a framework. You understand what sponsorship actually is. You know your audience is the asset, and you know that you need a project before you pitch. Knowing this and actually doing it are two different things. So if you want a step-by-step playbook to put this into action, grab our international best-selling book, The Modern Playbook for Sponsorship and Cash Flow. It goes way deeper with examples, templates, and the exact structure to build your pitch and start landing real deals. So go grab it on Amazon and let's build this properly. Stay deadly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.